What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to build this mobile menu here. So we have a nice transition for the menu coming in and out, and then on these spans as well. This is commonly called a hamburger button. So we have, it looks like 3, but there's actually 4, because the middle one, there's actually 2 spans in the same place. And then when you click the button, they rotate one of them 45 degrees, the other one negative 45 degrees. And they also change color. So it looks good. This is something you'll need on pretty much any application that you build, so it's definitely good to know. And so I actually have a video where I build this entire site, and then I launch it with Netlify and hook up a custom domain to it. So I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to check that out. So here's my local version without the mobile menu. And then the code, I have my app.js. And so this is the desktop navigation, which I have hidden until a large breakpoint, and then I show it. So there's no mobile menu. This is the top level app.view, and then we have the router.view. And so the navigation will always show, and then depending on what page they're on, that's what will show in the router view. And then to keep this a little more lean and clean, I like to make a mobile nav component, and then we import it in this app.view and use it in here. So we'll go to components, do mobile nav.view. Get our template going. So we're going to put it all in a div. We'll do a class at the large breakpoint. We'll do hidden because that's when we'll show the desktop navigation. And then this hamburger menu, that's going to be in a container, which will absolute position at the top right there. I'm using Tailwind here. I actually have a video where I set up a view project with Tailwind. So we'll do the absolute class, which gives it the display of absolute. And then we'll do a top 0, bring it to the top of the screen. We'll do a Z10, bringing it up front. We'll do width of 12 and height of 12. And then right, we'll do 3, so a little bit from the right edge. And then, like I said, these are going to be spans, and there's actually going to be 4 of them. And so we'll make those an inline block. Do a width of 8, a height of 0.5. We'll absolute position that. We'll do rounded small, giving it a small border radius. And then with that absolute position, we'll do a top 7, bringing it a little bit down from the top. Background white. And then we'll assign some dynamic classes once we start dealing with opening and closing the menu. But for now, I'll just get the hamburger button going. So I'll replicate this with Option Shift down and making 4 spans there. We'll make, see this one, top 9, bring it down a little further from the top. We'll put this one in the exact same spot. And then this one a little further down with top 11. We'll save that. And now we have to export this and bring it into the app.view in order to show it. So put a script down here. Let's do an export default. We'll give it the name mobile nav. Save that. And then we'll go to our app.js And then up here, we'll do our mobile nav component. And so we'll need to import that. We'll import that from our components folder and the mobile nav.view. And then we will also register that component. And there we go. So we're importing it, we're registering it, and we are rendering it. And there we go. So back in our mobile nav component, so we're going to have to handle a click event on this div. So if we go back to the original here, when they click on it, the menu comes out and that transition happens. And we're going to have to dynamically assign classes based on a property that we change on this click event. So the top and the bottom spans will disappear. So we'll give those a class of hidden. And then these ones, again, will rotate and change colors. So we'll give those a duration as well on the transition. And so for this div, we'll have a click event. And that click event will fire off a event handler function called toggle menu. That's what we'll call it. And then we'll dynamically assign classes here. And we'll listen for a property of menu open, which we'll also create. And when that's true, we'll assign it a class like hidden for the top span there. And if it's false, we'll assign it back to inline block. So we'll create this function and this property that we will handle with that function so that we can manage those and assign these classes. So for the menu open property, we'll have our data, which returns an object. And we'll have a property of menu open. Let me add a comma here. Classic JavaScript. So we have a property of menu open, which will be false by default. And then we'll have our methods. And this is the event handler, which will have toggle menu. And we'll grab the this.menu open property and we'll assign that to the opposite of whatever menu open is. So if it's true, it'll change it to false, and if it's false, it'll change it to true. So this whole div has the click event that it's listening for, and here are the classes that we're assigning based on if menu open is true or not. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, add it to these. And this bottom one will keep the same. But these two middle ones, so if menu open is true, we'll rotate this one a negative rotate of 45 degrees and change the background to green, like a 400 level of green there. So that's when menu open is true, and when it's false, we'll rotate back to 0. And then for the other span, we're going to do the same thing except without the negative 45. So that's going to be the positive 45. So if we save that, okay, well, it's doing it instantly. So let's add, for the transition on these middle spans, we'll do a duration 500. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. Nice and smooth. So now we'll do the menu itself, and we'll put it in a container that's absolute positioned here, because it'll transition to the right. That's how we hide it. And so we're going to do an outside container with overflow of hidden. That way, when the menu slides over, you're not able to scroll to the right and see it. So it comes out from the side and kind of goes back. You don't want to be able to scroll that way to view it over here. So we'll have a absolute position container with overflow hidden. And so that'll be a div that also has a position of absolute. And we'll do top 0 and right 0, placing it at the top right. Say a width of 48, overflow hidden for the reasons I just mentioned, and a height of 96. And I'll actually just put a border and then border white, just to kind of show the container as we work with it. So we save that. And there's our container. So we'll do another container that holds our menu. We'll have the nav menu and then those icons that link to the LinkedIn and Facebook and such. So we'll do absolute, flex, make that flex column so it goes up and down. Justify between, give some space in between. And then we'll also give this the transition because it'll slide left and right to go in and out of view. We'll also give that the duration of 500. Background of black. And give it a border, which will be a white. And a height of 96. And we want that out of view by default. So we'll do a negative right 100. So for the navigation itself, put that in a nav tag, which will also be the flex and flex column. And so our reshers can do a self center on the nav tag itself, and then do the unordered list, and that will do the flex and flex column. We'll do a padding top of 5, and then for each individual item each list item. We'll do margin Y of 2, margin right of 8, text white, cursor pointer, so this is an internal link, so we'll do the router link, and that first one will go to the home page, which we're calling portfolio. And now again, I'm just gonna select this, Option Shift down to duplicate it. Change this one to About Me, which is the About page. We'll do Get in Touch, which is the contact page. So we'll save that. Looking good. That's just staying open because we haven't handled the click event and actually moved the menu itself. So we'll do that here in a minute. And I'll just add in these other links on the bottom half. So I'll put those in a div. And we'll do flex column, and margin bottom of 5 to give some space from the bottom of the menu. And then for each link, these are external links, so we'll use an anchor tag. And we'll do a target equals underscore blank so that it opens in a new tab. And then for each individual item, we'll do a margin top and bottom of 2 to give some space in between each one. Cursor pointer, so when they hover over it, they see the pointer. And margin left 7. And then for the icons, I used Font Awesome. And I just did the CDN. So if you do Font Awesome CDN, you'll see the cdnjs.com. And then I just did the latest version, not the brands or anything. I just did all in the min file. Copy the link tag. And then in the index.html, got your head tag here, and you just paste that in here. And then you can use those. And those are registered as text, so I'll do a text XL and a text white. Do Font Awesome brands and Font Awesome Instagram. Again, I'll select this and duplicate it with Option Shift down. Go ahead and grab these links here. And yes, these are all definitely actual accounts for Shred Flanders. About the shredflanders.com domain name, and you just got to go all out. So this one is the Facebook icon. This is the Font Awesome LinkedIn and the Twitter. We save that. All right, looking good. So now we want this menu to slide left and right and hide or show as we click that button. So we'll have to handle another click event. And that's going to be on this container that holds the navigation and these icons. So this guy here. So we'll dynamically assign classes, and this will be on that, and this will be based on that menu open property again. So if menu open is true, we're going to translate X to 0. That's a negative translate there. And if it's false, we're going to translate X full, which is translate X 100%. So if we save that, we see it's gone because it's false, and it's back when it's true. And we have that overflow hidden on this container, so you can't scroll over, and looking good. Now get rid of this border because we don't need it anymore. So it's kind of showing you there. Nice. Now the only thing is when you go to other pages, the menu stays open. So last thing we want to do is we want to handle click event on each one of these, so if they click it, it closes the menu. So we can just listen for that click event on the unordered list, so that contains all of the list items with all the links there. So we'll do the click event, and then we'll do another event handler here, which we'll call close menu. And then down here, we have our methods. We have toggle menu. We'll do another one called close menu. And that will just take this dot menu open and set it to false. So now if we click on one, it closes. Okay, looking good. Well, I hope that helped you guys out. Feel free to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.